Welcome everybody to Catfish Weekly, along with Chad Fields and Josh Finnegan. I'm Lyle, and boys, we're going to get to see something tonight that I've been waiting a long time to see.
Yeah, we're gonna get a sneak peek because y'all are going to see the finished bait tank before the video series finishes. So
Woo!
advantage of watching Catfish Weekly is you're going to get to see behind the scenes of the bait tank. So and I get to try out my I got my new tablet last week. We're going to try it out and see how it does on the show. So
Excellent. Well, right now it's looking good, man. It really is. Chadwick, I understand that you have some tournament results.
I do. I was actually just getting them pulled up here.
Sweet.
We got Indiana Catfish Association results from May 3rd on the Ohio River in Angel Mounds.
that's not very far away.
I've been there.
I get to go down there and fish. I keep saying I need to start traveling west and fish more away from the Cincinnati pool, and
You have to get permission from Mike Greenwell to go there.
No,
Oh, wow.
the Ohio River is mine. I am the goat of the Ohio River. Just ask anybody, and I can fish any well I darn well please.
Here we go.
Why are you laughing for?
I just thought of something funny. It wasn't intentional. I didn't mean it towards you, of course.
Did you see your face? Did you see your face in the camera there? Okay.
No.
Anyway, we're gonna start with the top 7 this time because one of the people that finished in 7th place has an awesome name, and we've got John Land and Dan Fields, Caden, at 37.82. And
He's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
He's
not as favorite as D, but
not as favorite as D, but I already guarantee that Dan Fields is probably higher up on my list of favorite Fields. So
I hate my life. In 6th place, we got Leroy and Jason at 42.31. In 5th place, we got Brad, Rich, and Davis, 43.34. Top 4 here, we got Corey and Travis at 65.05. 3rd place, we got Stephen Fancher and TJ at 71.25.
Wow.
2nd place, we got Lonnie and Donnie Fountain at 74.64. They need to stay off my river. They came up here and won the Rising Sun last year. Now they're branching out, I guess. 1st place, we got Justin and Delmer, 96.15 with a big fish at 25.51. They had some good fish then.
Yeah.
So it's a good average.
Absolutely.
So congratulations to all of them.
Heck yeah.
All right. We got that out the way. We got people starting to get in here. Let's see. We got Mark Burnham, Burrito Catfishing Lady, Brewer Boys Outdoors, Sangamon Angler, John Patrick Jr., Catch Fish with Us, Uncle Lou, Randy Old Gray Hair Swain, Pontoon Jody, Catfish Cowboy, member LG Bass. He's just sitting down to dinner. I just finished dinner and ran in here.
Yeah, we got done right before I come in the stream. So
Jerry Hagar. Hey, there's our old buddy Sonny Parker.
Hey, Sonny.
Look, I was getting ready to say it's such nice to see him, and he's sitting there saying I'm full of peanut butter.
Better than I would have worded it.
Yeah.
I'll have you know that I had conies tonight for dinner, so I'm full of. Wait a minute, never mind. Never mind. There's Matt from Wannabe Outdoors. Hope everybody's doing well. Did you get kicked out of outside?
Get kicked out of outside.
Did you get kicked out of your garage? I'm thinking.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. I was trying to figure that one out. No, we are we got the bait tank enclosure. We'll be going through that here in just a bit. So
Good deal.
my bait tank got kicked out of the garage, so I followed the bait tank.
Very nice.
What's up, old boy outdoors?
Hey, Larry.
Heard they had a good little trip down to Kentucky Dam. This was it this past weekend?
Yeah.
Couple people went down.
Yeah, it looked like they had a pretty good
That's
time down there Saturday. So
Yeah.
That's always a fun time.
Nobody brought me any skipjack from that trip. I'm just saying.
nobody brought me any skipjack on that trip.
Well, I wish if I'd seen Danny in the chat, I would have asked. So once Danny Stone gets in the chat, if the crowd that's already in here would be so nice to ask Danny Stone if he invited Josh and Chad to the skipjack trip. It'd be really nice of y'all.
He invited me.
Oh,
I know for a fact I was invited. I was in the group chat.
Oh. Chad didn't even know they had a group chat.
wow.
Yeah.
I may or may not be in that, but
Brian B, member for 31 months.
Hmm.
Thank you, buddy.
Hmm.
Boys, I got a story I'd like to share with you. We'll call it story time with Lyle. How's that?
I think everything that comes out of your mouth is pretty much a story, but that's cool.
I like story time with Lyle.
Yeah.
Today, on my way back from Columbia, I stopped in at a place called Finger Lake. And they have one large lake. Don't know how large, but it's large, and it has a fishing dock on it. And I've been busy and haven't been able to go, so I wanted to stop in there and catch me some bluegill because I've got an upcoming catfish time. And I know for a fact that there's good fish in there because I've seen James Dockery catch over a 2-pound crappie out of this lake one day. So I get there and there's a couple of guys and they've got 5-gallon buckets with water in them and a half a dozen fish between the two of them, all bluegills. And I visited with them for a minute. They told me how they caught them, where they caught them, and all this. And I tried that; it didn't work. Of course, I didn't have any fishing work. That's what they was catching them on. And I tried. I would used everything from hand ties and plastics to gulp alive minnows and gulp alive worms and everything else. And I'm struggling around there a little bit trying to get a bite. And a car pulls up in the parking lot, and an older gentleman gets out, older than me, even believe it or not. And he walks down to the dock where I'm at, and I noticed that he had a Vietnam Purple Heart Veterans hat, which anybody that knows me, if I see somebody that has a hat like that or anything that tells me that they was in the military, I always go over and thank them for their service, and that's something that to me is very important. So this he's fishing along there and he's struggling as much as anybody. And he told me, he said, "Man, I always catch fish here." He said, I can't believe I can't even get a bite." And he's trying different things. And we start visiting. And he was so interesting. We talked about politics. Believe it or not, I don't even like
No.
we talked about Donald Trump. We talked about the economy. And we started talking about the Vietnam War. And the stories that he told me was so great and so intense. I got hung up once, broke off, so I grabbed another rod and started fishing, and I just put it up. Um, I was so intrigued with this guy because a lot of people that've been in military, they don't want to talk about the times that they had. And this guy told me, he said uh, they airlifted him out of a place where they drop a cable down and you get on this thing and they pull you up in a helicopter that's flying in the air. He says, "That was the thing that scared me the very most of everything I've ever done in my life." He said, "I didn't like that much." But he'd been shot. He's got 4 or 5 problems from Agent Orange. Uh, he's been in and out of the hospital with heart trouble and lung trouble and everything under the sun, and he's 77 years old. And if anybody in the world deserves a thank you
Mhm.
for being part of what keeps our country great. That gentleman was it. And I spent a biggest part of the afternoon visiting with this guy, and he told me some other stuff, and I told you guys before the show, and I've decided that I'm not going to tell that. We'll save that for another place. But I got ready to leave, and I thanked him again and shook his hand. And I said, "Man, I sure hope that next time I come down here, you're down here fishing." And he said, "I do too." He said, "I had a good time visiting with you." He said, "I'm not catching any fish." He said, "But I'd almost bet as soon as you get out of sight, I'll get one." And the moral to this story, guys, is guys like him deserve a handshake, and you need to tell them all thank you because what they've done for us is irreplaceable, and not everybody's got the stones to do what they done. This guy was not drafted, and the draft was on. He enlisted and done this for our country and all of us, and that's the reason we're able to do shows, fishing, and do all this stuff. So, little story. It's just something that I thought people might be interested in, and if they're not, then I feel sorry for them because they don't understand what we're all.
100% agree.
Absolutely.
I mean, honestly, wow, that was a really impressive story. I mean, I think I told you guys my dad is a Marine. He was in the Vietnam War and stuff, and I agree with everything you said about what they
Hmm.
did for us. And
I seen somebody posted that you throwed it up there about, or you said your dad was in the Marines. This guy enlisted in the Navy and ended up in the Marines.
Oh wow,
it's nice to be
And so,
promoted.
yeah,
Something good.
that is true.
he just he was a special guy, and I didn't even ask him his name. That I feel bad about that, but I was so intrigued by the things that he said and the stories that he told. It was a great day to go fishing and really not fish.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing about your story too is like I'm not surprised you didn't catch fish, but I am very surprised that you found somebody that's older than you. But
Yeah.
There is a
I mean,
few left, man.
I was going to ask if he fought for the North or the South.
If you'd have been there, he'd have got a kick out of that question. He really would. He was
sound like a
that
good
he
dude.
was that cool of a guy. He really was.
Yeah, there ain't many of those left.
No, there's
They've been
not.
these guys left. They're
Hmm.
He was awesome, man. Really was.
Yeah. And I
But
see our buddy and member, Mr. Danny Stone Outdoors, has made it in. And if anybody was in the chat when I asked, make sure you ask Danny Stone that question for me.
yeah.
Mr.
They you go out to VFW or whatever, and you see the little old man sitting there. People don't take into account that guy who's done more badass stuff than you've ever thought about in your life.
that's exactly right. And I
That
Hmm.
guy
promise
was I
this
promise you
guy,
that guy. Yeah.
he's done some really
Yes.
cool stuff, and um, he has worked for several government agencies on top of that since his military career, and spends when he's not feeling bad, he spends time at VFW halls and American Legion places trying to help others get the benefits that they deserve. And special
You know,
kind of just a
I
special
just
Oh
did.
yeah.
I just did the math. You said he's 77. That's the exact same age as my dad.
Yep,
Oh
they
wow.
may you
77.
don't know they may have been in there at the same time. Hard, but
So
really a
They could. They could.
cool
Yeah.
guy.
see
So
Captain Terry Rogers has joined us. Hello, Terry.
glad to see Terry. The thing is, what you need to
There's
do
Cindy Stokes. Hello, Mama Stokes.
is thank them guys for their service, and and they will appreciate it. I promise you, because when they come back, they didn't get that. He explained that to me. They didn't get
No,
them things when they come back,
No.
no, they didn't at all.
and they deserve it as much.
Amen, Buggy. Right there, Buggy says if an old
That's
man
where I
has
was
a
going.
World War II hat on, he is a bad human. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly right.
What any of them guys
Absolutely.
went through back then,
Yeah.
yeah, insane to think. You got those guys
Absolutely.
that, like you said, most of them signed up and they enlisted. There were people that were 17 years old lying about their age to go,
Mm-hmm.
and now they can't get kids to
Oh,
care.
and by the way, he was a short little fella. He was shorter than Dockery.
Oh God, you're stopping now. The embellishing continues.
Yeah. He's older than Lyle and shorter than Dockery.
I can't help it. I enjoyed it. He was a fun guy to be around. I hope I meet him again.
Heck yeah. There's John Parker. So real time catfishing. All right, Josh.
And Parker said, "Where's Doctor? I miss him, but my aim's improving." All right, so let me move some stuff around here real quick. Hello.
Oh, V, no, the puppy is in trouble with me right now. So I came home today. I bought some plants. I bought some. Oh, Josh just kicked himself out. But I bought some blueberry, raspberry, grapevines, and some lilac bushes, and got them all planted except for the one grapevine I was going to do because I got to go down over the hill where the fence is and stuff and do it. Came home and it was all over the yard, and the twigs were just broken everywhere. So
Let's see if I can get that.
right now.
Look, he built him an outhouse, Chad.
That's what it is. See?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Hey,
The stories that I've heard
move
from
that.
Christina, though, I'm not surprised she's making him go outside. And
I agree. There's only one thing wrong I see with that outhouse, Josh.
What's that?
The latch is too tall. James Dockery would never be able to reach it.
I guarantee you'd never be able to reach it either, though.
hey, at least neither one of you. Well, James wouldn't steal his bait, and you wouldn't kill it.
I got to reach up like this to get to it. Lyle, you ain't grabbing it.
Hell, Dockery, neither one could reach that. Looky
Look
there.
at that fancy thing.
Isn't that something?
Let's get up in there and take a look at that.
Let's do that. I'm anxious to see it. Chad, do you think we should put him on solo?
I think we're going to have to.
Right.
Yeah, give me just a moment.
Too late.
I'm adjusting the tripod. All right, we're going to go through, and we do have some fish in here. Now, there's probably 5 or 6 in there at the moment. All right, let's see here. Let's try this.
Bugman's already asking the question of how often do you have to have that bait tank pumped by the honey?
Oh, by the honey dip. Yeah, we're good on the honey dipper. Let me figure out how to. I don't want this thing to go in the drink, so give me just a moment here.
Like
God,
phones.
that's bad, wouldn't it?
I know people drop
All
phones.
right. Oh, perfect time. Perfect time.
Well, perfect timing.
See my little bubbler there?
Mm-hmm.
That means pull that up there. Let you guys take a look at that. Instead of an air stone, come here.
To be honest, right now I have no idea what we're looking at. There we go.
Yeah, that's instead of an air stone, it's like a little piece of structure.
Huh.
Nice.
And each one of those legs has thousands of little holes, and so the air bubbles are tiny in this thing. And that's couldn't ask for a better time here. So that little thing there, and I really need to mirror my camera if I could. Okay. Blink. Okay, there we go. See how it's got a minute left?
I can't really see the timer, but I see that it's got something on it.
Okay, that's what I get down there. You go.
Okay. Yeah, now we see it.
Okay. It started with 2 minutes, and that's going to run. It's going to kick off here in a minute. So while that's running, we're pumping air into the water. And that's going to kick out here in a second. And it's going to go on its off timer. So this thing, instead of pumping air in all the time, it cycles on and off.
So is that going down into what you just showed us with the
that's
little structure?
yeah.
Whatchamacallit?
Okay, so that just kicked out. You can see we've got about 15 minutes left. So it's off for 15 minutes. No air, no bubbles. Every 15 minutes, it turns on for 2 minutes. Adds some air to the tank. And then shuts off, and that cycle continues automatically. It does that on its own. So
That's
James with Cool Cat Fishing says you got to start over. He just got in.
oh, we're
He
just
just got
getting
in.
started, James.
There we go. Yeah, we just wandered in. So just to go over, we've got our air pump. We've got our cyclic timer, and that just plugs in. It's easy to program. When the video comes out of that, I've got a link to that. I got that off Amazon. Got that off Amazon. Got that off Amazon. I think I even got the stuff off Amazon here. So since James just come in, let me
Yeah,
try
show
to do this one.
show James your toy that you converted into an air thing.
Yeah, so there's our little piece of structure here, and it's not going to show those real well, but it's each one of those
I
little.
can see the holes. Yeah,
Can you see the holes?
a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, but each one of those little legs is full of thousands of little holes, and when that comes on, that puts out a whole lot more air than an air stone. Plus, once the fish are acquainted to the bait tank, they they go and hang out by that thing. They look at it like a piece of structure.
That's very
So
cool.
we've got down here at the bottom, we have our pump and our pre-filter. Now the pre-filter is mostly mechanical filtration. It's got some filter media in there that it pulls water through those holes, and as that water's pulled through, that filter media traps any dirt or grime, whatever's in the water. Down around the pump inside there, and it's easier. I can't show it right now, but it's in that second video, I believe, of my bait tank series. So it shows that is, but it's got lava rock, just regular old lava rock like you buy at Home Depot or Menards or anything. And what that does, that acts like a biological filter. So those lava rocks are very porous, and there's all kinds of little holes in them. The bacteria that turns fish urine or eats off of fish urine lives in that lava rock. They would make bacterial colonies. That's how you keep from having to do a ton of water changes and all that good stuff. Is you can't fight Mother Nature. You have to work with Mother Nature. Nature's been doing this for thousands upon thousands of years, millions of years. Fish make put ammonia in the water. The bacteria thrive off the ammonia. They remove it. They eat that. Get cleaned water in the process. So our upper tank here is our larger filter, and this is all biological filter. So this is all made to make a bacterial colony, and it's a mixture of two bags of lava rock And now I have 3 bags of river pebble up there. So we'll take a look at that. I mean, you can see the water, but look how clear that water is.
Okay, it's clear. I can see the pebbles.
There's a phone in,
Mhm.
and my plans are on this. Part of the reason of making openings is to let some light in, but now not a lot of light. I'm going to put aquatic plants up in here. Again, that will help the bacteria break down everything. How long did it take to reach for bacteria to break down on what to do to maintain it? I tell you what, I did a bunch of research a little over 20 years ago. I put in at a house I was living in, I put in a koi pond. And if you ever want to learn bad words, put in a koi pond, because if you do one thing wrong, your fish are dead, and koi are expensive. So I had to learn all of this. And there was a forum at the time that's long since gone that had some very intelligent people, and I asked questions upon questions, and probably to the point that they didn't want me in there no more. And learned everything that I could. And so all I've done is apply what I learned with making koi ponds to a little bit smaller. We're looking a couple 100 gallons right now. My water's a little bit low. It should be about right here. So we've had some evaporation go on. Pump comes out that way. I am going to be adding a high water and low water alarm to this, to where if the water goes up past a certain point, say we get a hole in the roof, if we start getting too much water, it'll set off an alarm. We get too little water, obviously we set off an alarm before we start. Yeah, Lance is absolutely right. If you know how to keep a healthy aquarium, you should be able to set this up. It's a giant aquarium is what we're messing with. Do you have any filters? Oh, where'd it go? Yeah. Do you have any filters you take out and clean? How long does it take to rot this? Takes about a month for your bacterial colony to form, and it won't start forming really until you put some fish in. There are some bacteria boosters you can buy uh, that help that process along. I tell you, the easiest way to do it is when you're getting ready to put your first few fish in put your bait in here. Take you a couple 5-gallon buckets with you, or a cooler, or whatever. Get a couple 5-gallon buckets full of lake water. The lake water has the bacteria you're looking for in it. Take that home. It does not take them long to establish. And I mean, I filled this tank. Tomorrow make 2 weeks since I filled this tank, and it's already thriving. So, water overflows obviously comes down through here. That's oxygenating the water. Just the waterfall itself, making those splashes. That's adding some oxygen to the water. This is 2 things I picked up this year. We got a little polar bear here.
Is that a thermometer?
It's a pool thermometer.
Nice.
And so we can see our water is about 56 degrees probably. And so we just let that thing hang out in there. Filters to change, there are in this pre-filter. You take those out, you shut your pump down for a little while. You could pull those out, rinse them with the garden hose, get them good and clean, and put them back in. That's in my bait tank series video. I know that one, when we build that first filter, I know that one's in there. This I just put up the other day, just a regular old thermometer, and it's got a humidity gauge. More so just to kind of see where we're sitting at, but it's only 60 some odd degrees, about 65 degrees out here today. I do keep my dip net for dipping bait. There is the very first video for that series. I built myself a new drain, and that new drain is not on there anymore. It worked great until the end of the year when I went to drain the entire tank, and it didn't drain fast enough for me. So this year we've got 2-inch PVC and a quarter turn valve. I can drain the tank in a hurry.
Good deal.
Let's see here if we can. Get you some Morton salt. Make sure it says does not supply iodine. You want the non-iodized salt. And there is a slew of arguments on how much to add per how many gallons of water. I dump it in there till it looks about right. You could probably dump that whole thing in 200 gallons and it not hurt them. I probably dumped, I don't know, a half cup. I probably dumped a half cup in there. And that salt does a couple of things. The salt will harden their scales and make the fish less susceptible to injury, which injury goes to sickness, and you end up with bait dying. Sonny, I don't have a chiller on it. If I did decide I wanted one, my shop is right behind or right in front of it, and the shop is climate controlled, so I could always plumb a line in and do that if it came down to it. But it worked in the garage last year without having a chiller, and so we're going to try it again this year. AquaSafe, you can buy the aquarium stuff. It works just fine. This is the same as the aquarium, but this is for ponds. And the big difference on that one is this is just higher concentration. So like a little bitty half a cap full on this thing treats 20 gallons, where the one for the aquarium, half a cap full of treat maybe 5. So I threw a light in so I can come out here at night. This I know is not going to turn. It might turn on. It might be dark enough. This was in the pool section, and it was like a couple dollars. And it's not dark enough to really do it justice, but you can let that thing float around in there. The fish don't seem to bother, or fish don't seem to mind it. Oh, that's a good idea. Valve on the bottom of the tank with 2-inch fire hose. That's a real good idea. Mine, the valve was screwed up, so I had to come up with something to shut it off there. Let me try to get. I'm going to try to see if we can coax some fish out. So give me just a second here. Figure out how to. So you don't need to put any better bait. I don't add any of that stuff. No, I just add the salt. It ain't going to hurt nothing to add it, but I don't necessarily know that it's needed either. Let's see if I can find something to.
While you're finding that, let's see, where's mine?
There we go. Improvise here.
So this here is setting hooks across the eyes is set up.
Hell yeah.
But then there's the aquatic thing he's got going on there.
Hell, he's a florist.
I know, right?
Oh, that looks cool. I like that. Cool. Little bog filter.
Yeah.
Anytime you can add plants, man. Plants are just wonderful.
Very cool stuff there.
We're going to try. I haven't fed them in a couple days, so we're going to feed them a hot dog. That's what they like.
That's what I had for dinner.
Hot dog.
I might come through the screen here in a minute if I wasn't so full.
You're gonna come through the screen after my wiener. Got it.
I said if I wasn't so full already. I mean, jeez.
So you would go through there after.
That's what it sounded like.
What was
Yeah,
talking
that's
about?
what I'm thinking.
Let's see if we can get some to help some of those guys out. They might come out, they might not.
How big of chunks are you putting in there, Josh?
I was cutting them about a half inch thick, anywhere from a half inch to a quarter. Any thinner than that, they like them, but they tend to float. And then they put slime up on the top of the water.
Okay.
Air bubbler just kicked back in. You could tell it's making bubbles again.
That's a good question.
I need some bullheads in here. They go crazy.
Matt said, doesn't the plants add oxygen to the tanks as well?
The plants will add oxygen to the tank, and they will remove. They will help to remove ammonia. That sticks to their roots.
It's a good question. I'm pretty sure he pulled that hot dog right out of his pocket.
No, I had it sitting over here. I put it there before the show. Try to get them to.
Christina says, so I need to add more hot dogs to my shopping list.
And I tell you what, bluegills, when they first get put in the tank, are the most timid things. But once you add some bullheads, that will, once you add some bullheads that will chase them around a bit, the bluegill take over. You find out how mean they are.
That's right.
Let's see. How much light do you want or not want? Where'd it go?
I was getting to it.
I don't want a ton. In a perfect world, I'd black this completely out, but I figured it would probably overheat in here. So I left that last little, basically those little windows up there at the top that are. And now I had to chicken wire them because we have a giant healthy colony of raccoons here, and if I didn't chicken wire this, I guarantee the raccoons would go down here and do that. Matt,
take care of that problem, right?
I do take care of it that exact way, and I haven't made a dent in them yet. Wow. No, you really, James. The problem with sunlight, if you end up with an overabundance of nutrients in your water, and you have a lot of sunlight, you will start to have an algae bloom, and it's the last thing you want because it's a pain in the neck to get it straightened out. Your bacteria really help with that. They help to eat up all that. Yeah, Ryan's right here. You don't need light for your bait, just for you. You don't want a ton of sunlight. You don't want to come out one day this thing turn completely green. Now, if it does, go down to the craft store and get you some quilt batting. Take your lid off your pre-filter there, load it up with that quilt batting, and run the pump. That algae get caught in that quilt batting, and it'll suck up a lot of that. You can also get you a sock and put a sock with a zip tie over the end of your output, and that sock will gather up all that crap. Let's see. Chad, pull that one back up. I was going to answer that question, and I can't find it now. Was it? No. Do I purge them in a different tank or smaller? Not necessarily. Kind of depends on where they, how they're acting, but a lot of the time, I guess maybe in a sense, maybe I do, because like if I'm going out to catch live bait to take or to catch bluegills or bullheads to take home. I took that cooler with me that I made the recycling pump and everything in. And so they go into that after they get caught. And then they get transported home and put in here. So, I mean, yeah, they're probably, truly and honestly, they're probably getting purged in that little cooler with the bait, with that bait tank. But not, I mean, once I get them home, no, they go straight in here. You just dump them in. Trying to see if I can ask them into coming out here.
Danny Stone said, Josh, next time we meet up, he'll bring you some bullheads.
Oh, that works. I won't turn them down. I had one. That's the only downside of that filter being like it is. They learn real quick they can hide behind. Hi, John. What'd you build? Oh, cool. Does Mama know you're outside? Yeah? Okay.
Now, Josh, one question I have is on the outside of your door, are you going to put a picture of Lyle with a red circle and a line through it?
You
The way
know
he
what?
stays away from your bait?
I may do that. John, sit down.
You're about as funny as a chap dad.
Mama Dunnigan says, no, Mr. John.
I just sent him inside. I told him to go in before he gets in trouble.
As Jeff Beal says, probably get a coupling and have that extended discharge closer to the water so you don't get wet.
So you don't get what? I didn't see. Probably get a coupling and have it so you don't. Oh, probably don't get wet. You could, and I am probably going to make a modification to this. I want to try it before I put it out in a video, but I kind of give you guys a little sneak peek of it. I'm thinking about taking these two elbows out, putting a T in there, a T fitting. The bottom would stay the same. It'd be 2-inch PVC coming straight down. The top part of the T, I would reduce down from 2 inches to probably 3/4 or a half and drill a pinhole in it. In theory, that should make a venturi like in a carburetor, and that flowing water with that smaller area up top, it should lower that pressure and it should draw atmospheric air straight into that water and pull it down. In theory, it should work.
That's pretty neat.
I almost had.
I don't even think Lyle worked this hard trying to catch fish today.
No, I didn't.
There we go. You see him?
Yep.
Oh, nice, healthy bluegill that hasn't been killed by Lyle.
I'm thinking Josh is wishing, or Chad is wishing he could ever catch one that.
Girl, please. I got all kinds of skills.
They like to hang out behind that filter, and I don't blame them. I mean, obviously you can see they're safer behind that filter than anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And they know that. It's nature. Nature's smarter than people think.
Nature. I'm nature.
Sure.
I still want to get one of those little water feature things. I don't know if I want a frog or what, but just something cool to sit up there and have it spitting back in the water. I have thought about getting a fishing gnome and making it look like James Dockery.
Well, you
How
could
many do
call
you keep in there, James? I ran this at about the 150-gallon mark all last year, and at any given time, I had somewhere between 12 and 24 bluegills, and probably 6 to 10 decent-sized bullheads in there.
you could name that gnome.
I will say, hey, I got to give Josh credit because it took him less times to net that one bluegill than
Then
it
it did
did
that catfish. Yeah,
that catfish.
that is true. What about the one that looks like? Yeah, that would work. Get the one with that looks like it's peeing in the water. Now that'd be funny. Get one of those. Make one of those gnomes into that and make it look like Lyle.
You could always nickname it Willie Nelson.
I'm,
We would
that
all
may
know.
that may have to happen.
We would all know what that meant.
Yeah, that. Now so far they're leaving the hot dogs alone.
What's the chance of them hot dogs all being gone in the morning, though?
You can see them down in the water right there. Now the good thing is, once I leave the fish alone for the night, when I come back to borrow, the hot dogs will be gone.
That's what I mean.
And there's a bug. If you happen to find any bugs, June bugs or anything like that, throw them in the water. Bluegill take care of them.
Yeah.
So let me try to move around here real quick. I'll come back and sit down and answer questions.
That is an excellent looking tank.
It is.
Very nice. Nicely done.
Ooh. Let's see if I can. What the hell?
Now I am curious because I know you were all talking about it earlier, but as far as keeping that water cool, so are you going to try to do anything for that, or?
Not unless I am forced to. Um,
There he is.
no, it's facing back still. Facing. Oh, let me figure out how to settings.
I like that right there.
That would be a good automatic feeder.
I think it's a great idea and get rid of
Oh,
mosquitoes.
that's a real good idea.
I think so too.
Took me forever to get it to go to the back camera. Now I can't get it back to the front.
That's one of my favorite sounds in the world. Is that every time one of them hits it. There's only one thing that I would rather see get it than bugs.
We'll do it this way. Okay.
Hello, Josh.
Ooh.
All right. Can you see me? Kinda.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
All right. I just had to turn the tablet around for now. It's when I go to try to go back to front camera, it's saying it's in use. So
Okay.
I'll open up on my phone. That way I can see chat.
I have a question that I'm shocked that nobody has asked you yet, Josh. Do you have an idea what the total cost on this build was? No, I'm not.
Okay.
Not
Are you allowed to say, knowing that Christina is watching?
Oh yeah, that ain't no big deal. Christina's cousin actually gave me the IBC tote, so that is the big part of it. But that was you could find those on Marketplace for $20, anywhere $20 to $40 depending. So a couple of totes, you're looking $10 a piece. Bags of rock, we've got probably 2 to 3 bags of lava rock. $7-8 a piece. I'm probably in for the biggest part was the pump. I think the pump was close to $60. I'm probably in 200 or 300 off the top of my head. I mean, I could sit and come up with an exact tally, but
it's not that
I did see a questionnaire. Matt had one asking what I do for heat in the winter. I drain this and I take the fish back to the lake. I don't even attempt to keep it running during the winter. I don't use live bait during the winter, so it wouldn't do me any good to do that. And the winters that we've had the past few years, I would literally come out to a solid block of ice. I don't want to take the chance of water freezing and my pump freezing up in there and something cracking.
Yeah.
So about late October, weather temperature dependent. Late October or first part of November, I drain the tank. The fish go in a bin. They go back out to the lake. They get released to the lake, and they get to go tell all their friends about their wild abduction. It's got to be the closest thing in the world to being abducted by an alien.
I think you're right about that.
Oh, I just saw Bureau Boy's comment. Feed the bluegills oatmeal.
That's something I hadn't heard. Yeah,
I've not heard that, and I'm kind of wondering if that would that'd be a whole lot easier to manage.
Mm-hmm.
And it's readily available everywhere.
Yeah, I'm wondering how quickly they eat it. I can't say I'm liking the idea of my bait tank water turning into oatmeal, but if they eat it fast, that wouldn't be bad at all.
Yep.
I have tried to, and I probably still will at some point, come up with a feeding solution. I've looked at buying some pellets off of Amazon. They make them for all kinds of game fish and ponds and everything. And I said, I could find one that they'll eat. I have in the past tried to feed them dry cat food. They won't touch it. All it does is make a mess, and you got to scoop it out of the tank.
There's a reason for
that. Yeah, cat food's nasty. But
well, look what he.
Now I did. I was hoping to have it set up, but it rained all freaking weekend long, so I didn't get to do it. But at the top of my bait tank enclosure out here, I've got one of those. It's those plastic roof panels, and I am actually putting a piece of gutter on the back side of the bait tank enclosure. And a guy here locally, I found him on Facebook Marketplace, he had 55-gallon plastic food grade drums for $20 a piece.
Nice.
And so I went and bought one, and I'm going to use that to collect rainwater. And then as I'm needing to replenish evaporative losses in the tank, if I have any rainwater, that's easy to put in, and you don't have to treat that as much.
Right. Yeah.
So I'll buy me a small pond pump for that, where I can kick it on and pump it into the bait tank. But the one I brought home, I went and picked it up Saturday, brought it home, opened it up, and was trying to figure out what was still left inside of it. I had a couple different ideas of what it could be. I had Christina smell inside the thing, and she came up with one of what she decided it was one of the two things that I thought it might have been. So we decided it had Pepsi Cola syrup in that bin. So that's going to be easy to wash out. There's Mark, Catfish and Crappie, number 48 months.
Thank you so much, Mark. We appreciate it.
And catching rainwater, it does good. And for some reason, it tends to make the wackos mad. So I mean, you have that going for you anyway. So
that's awesome. Yeah.
I mean, that's worth it. Oh, Mark says Chewy sells pond pellets that bluegills love. That's good to know.
Mark has a live bait tank at his house. So I know he's got to be feeding them something.
Brewer boys, I have about 80 in my IBC tote. Feed them about a tablespoon every day, but I have fresh water going in mine. The overflow waters my garden. That's a good idea.
Absolutely.
Well water doesn't hurt them. It's got a trickle going. Well water's going to come in nice and cool too. There's nothing wrong with. That's a hell of a setup.
It is, because that in the summertime that will keep your water cool. The only thing about well water is you must have oxygenated water.
You have to yes.
Well water does not have much oxygen.
No, well water is not oxygenated. So, but you know, one little.
If you can send me a picture of your setup, I'd love to see that.
Yeah, Lyle, if you get that, so forward that on to me. I'd like to take a look at that.
I absolutely will. I love seeing builds and pictures and things like that. That's maybe why our buddy has such a big channel, because I think a lot of other people do too. But Keith builds everything under the sun. But this is something that intrigued me when you first started talking about it, several months ago. And if hell, it was last year when you started pouring concrete.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I started the bait tank project, and then I knew that it was not going to work out the way I wanted it in the garage, and we could have kept it in there. It wouldn't have really hurt anything, but it took up way too much space in the garage. And so about the hottest part of the summer, when it hadn't rained in 3 months, was when I decided to come out here and build this. But I didn't have a gasoline auger at the time, so I was digging all the post holes with the old post hole digger.
So now you have that auger, right?
And now I have one of those augers. They put one of my favorite stores put them on sale about a month ago, and I ran and snatched one up the first day of the sale, and it was a good idea because I got the last one that they had in stock. So
that's way cool.
But no, it's been a fun little project. Once we get the bullheads and stuff in, and I'm telling you, mixing the bullheads and the bluegills, you wouldn't think that it would be a good idea, but man, it causes the bluegills to school up. They kind of keep the bullheads in line. The bullheads keep them run out from behind the filter, so that whenever you're wanting to go fishing, it's a whole lot easier to come up with them. And
Ron says his tank is in the garage, and he used an old 10 cubic foot freezer that no longer works.
I have seen people do that. It usually works out really well.
Yeah,
that's a great thing. Use what you have available. I mean, like, this is agriculture country. These IBC totes are everywhere to be found where I'm at, but they might not be where you live.
I see them all the time.
But they'll be find you an old chest freezer, or find you, or get fancy, get your old washing machine. It'd probably work. But people said it. You know what? If somebody wanted to send in their bait tank, we would show it off.
Oh yeah,
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I enjoy seeing other people's builds, like the picture Chad posted a while ago. With the flowers. Cool. That was way cool. Creativity is a wonderful thing, and you can get great ideas with Josh's or with Mark or with someone else's. And you can take all the ideas and come up with your own that will do the same thing, but it's different than all of them.
And I promise you that none of us got everything right. None of us got everything right. There is always going to be something that, oh man, I should have done that, or I should have done this. I mean, Uh, I've been working on filming some other stuff, and when I started setting this back up for the year, uh, just like changing the, uh, just like changing the drain, there's a few little things that I decided to change this go around that I didn't know last year. It just took me a year of running it to learn it. So I'm gonna cover those in one more video just to go over changes that I made after the fact that have helped me out. So
That's a great idea. It's very helpful to share these ideas with our viewers because let's face it, everybody's got to have bait.
oh yeah. And I tell you what, if you have kids, they love to come out and feed the bait tank. You
I
will
was going
not
to say
have
that
to,
earlier.
you will not have to feed the bait tank. All you'll have to do at most is cut the hot dog up or whatever else. I could send John out and he loves to feed the fish.
Very
Absolutely
good.
love. And the good thing is take your kids with you. We talked about this last week when we were talking about taking kids fishing. Your kids want to go out and catch a fish. If they happen to be catching bluegill, and you're taking them home, and putting the bait tank. Now you've got child labor, and it's free
Yeah,
because of yours.
they'll love them bullheads the same if you got a place they can get them.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I've got a real good lake for bullheads around here, and now that the bait tank's back set up and running and functioning, we may have to next week or something I may have to do a bullheads and BS. I haven't done one of those in about a year, so.
Yeah, it's been a
Right.
while. Hey, fellas, we're a little over an hour. Do you guys want to do the wheel to see who gets to fish the top cat?
The top cat, yep, we need to do that.
I think that's an outstanding.
Let's grab that wheel. We got 2 people entered this month. That's
Click to
2
spin or
stands
press to
and
enter.
2. Do what?
Click to spin or press to enter.
That looks
All
like
right.
Pokemon.
It does kind of look like a Pokemon. So we got 2 stands or Bob Kitty. Should I shuffle it or just let her rip?
Let her grip, Tater Chip.
Let it rip.
There we go.
Yeah.
Bob Kitten.
Bob Kitty.
Bob Kitty.
Woohoo!
Oh,
So Josh, what?
Bob's got a video going wild right now too.
Yeah, he does.
66,000 views and counting, I think, on that thing. So
Yeah,
Nice.
that was what it was
Great
the
for
other
him.
day. I don't know where it's at now, but
Bob has got some quality videos out if you guys want to be
people,
entertained watching
he,
some really good fish being caught.
yes, he does.
he does some really good. He's really focused on his editing and all that. He spends a lot of time in that.
That's what makes you a better videographer because you pay attention to the sound, you pay attention to
Oh,
the video, all that stuff adds up, and when you got great content, it helps tremendously.
yeah, he's up to 93,000 views on that video now.
Oh
Great,
wow,
good for him.
Good
He's
job, Bob.
he's able to catch Parker on
that's
multiple.
awesome.
Yes, it is. It's very nice.
So, all right.
No dragon board this evening.
No,
Uh,
we run out of time today. My in-laws are getting ready to go on a big road trip, and uh, my father-in-law brought the car over today, and he and I were putting in a dash cam for him. He wanted a dash cam, and we added. He was wanting to put in another 12-volt like cigarette lighter outlet, but I talked him into a double USB because I knew he was wanting it so they could charge their phones anyway. And I said, well, let's just put a double USB in there, be good to go. So
So we got what 2 weeks, and we'll be having the top cat.
yep, May the 21st. Let me double check if I'm right on that date. 19th. May the 19th.
I'll send him a congrats, and that's all I'll say, and he won't have any clue what I'm talking about. So, all right. Well, Boys, I hate to say let's end this, but I got a little bit of heartburn from dinner, so I'm ready for a toast.
There you go. So, yep. Probably have in the next week or so start getting the and what I'm going to do instead of making those week after week, as I get these videos edited, I'll just dump them. Since we've been so long on this project, we'll just dump those out there. So
sounds like a good idea.
And then we'll be in good shape.
All right. Well, with that, great job, Josh. That's pretty cool, though.
It was great.
Anyway, we had a good time with that one.
So. Yeah.
Yep. It was a lot of fun.
You've done an awesome job. I can't wait to see this freaking video, so maybe I can figure out what the heck I'm doing with mine, because I've been stuck in halfway limbo for waiting on some videos to come out. So
there we go.
With that,
so we should be in good shape now. So
I want to appreciate everybody for watching this week. We'll see you next week, or sometime in between, I'm sure. So
yep.
I hope everybody has a really, really good week, and we'll see you on the next show. So
have a great week, y'all.
Have a good one.